guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Shaelene and today we are doing my November TBR. Before we get into the video, I just want to apologize for any background noise that may be in this video. It's a very busy day. I've been struggling to get myself to film because I haven't been feeling too well lately, so we're just gonna have to deal with it. Quite a few books that I want to read in November, and quite a few of them are library books. I finally used my library card for the first time, so I was sent some books. I'm a part of the Books by Mail program because I am disabled. I don't get out often. It would be very inaccessible for me to go to the library, so this was the easiest and most accessible way for me to access books. I'm actually currently reading two books. The first is Radium Girls by Kate Moore. This is about the radium dial painters in the early 20s and 30s and how, well, radium ain't too good for you. It's basically about company corruption, just terrible doctors and dismissive attitude, but it's also about workers' rights, women's rights, and yeah. I will obviously have a review on this probably around the end of the month. So yeah, I'm about 72% into this book, and I mean, so far I'm horrified by it. The other book that I'm currently reading is also a library book. This is Meddling Kids by Edgar Cantero. I'm almost halfway through this. I started this last night. So basically this is kind of like a Scooby-Doo reimagining slash retelling. Scooby-Doo for the modern age. Although it's like set in the 90s. So basically it's the basic Scooby-Doo plot. You're following a bunch of kids who during their summer break all solve mysteries. There happened to be this one mystery where it was the mystery of this lake monster, and they caught who they thought was the guy, but something happened during that whole episode, and they're hunted by it for the rest of their adult lives. They grow up, they grow apart, and yeah, then they come back to reinvestigate what actually happened, and they believe it wasn't the typical man in a mask. This does have a supernatural element to it. I'm halfway through where things are starting to get creepy. And I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm a huge fan of Scooby-Doo. I've always loved Scooby-Doo. I have a huge collection of Scooby-Doo movies. So yeah, I am thrilled about reading this one. And yeah, it's so good so far. That was supposed to be my spooky Halloween read, but it came kind of late. Women Talking by Miriam. I don't know how to pronounce her name. But basically, this is about a group of Mennonite women, and one night they get together in like the hayloft of a barn for like a secret meeting, and they discover that many of the girls in their community have been gang raped by certain male members of the community. The girls need to decide whether to stay in the community and everything they've ever known, or leave the community and face the real world where everything is unknown. And if you know anything about Mennonite women, you know that they are basically illiterate. They are not allowed to read, so it's kind of like Gilead but in modern times. So yeah, this book is actually also based on a true story. It's very short, but I am very intrigued by this. I wanted to read this ever since I read the description of it like a year ago now. So yeah, I'm very excited to read this one. So the second book, oh my god, I cannot wait until I pick this up because I know I'm going to love it. So this is Into the Planet, My Life as Cave Diver by Jill Heinerth. I don't know how to pronounce the last name. I'm terrible with names, guys. But, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. This is about a female cave diver, one of the few females in her field, and her life as a cave diver. It's a first-hand account of exploring one of the Earth's final frontiers, while also being a memoir. So yeah, I am so interested in diving and caves. Like, I've been on a cave kick. This sounds so weird, but I am devouring anything that has to do with caves lately. It's so weird. But yeah, I can't wait to read this. I know it's going to be so good. And she's actually Canadian, which is amazing. And the next book is actually a YA book. I've been wanting to read this for a while. I actually read the sequel as an ARC, The Girl the Sea Gave Back, but I now have the first book, Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. From what I know about this is there's two tribes, they are warring, they have a blood feud, and one of the young girls, because of the Viking culture, women were often involved in battles, so that's kind of what this is. And that's all I kind of really want to know about it. This was actually, I bought this off Amazon. It came as a library copy, and I was able to take the plastic off. Yes. So yeah, I am super excited to read this. I absolutely loved The Girl the Sea Gave Back. I loved the atmosphere of that novel and just the Viking world. I loved it. So I am super excited to be reading this one. And yet another nonfiction book that I'm so excited to read. I've been waiting for this book to come out for forever. It's taken a lot of strength to not just pick it up and read it as soon as I got it, but I had other books that I had committed myself to that I wanted to read. So, this is Archaeology from Space, How Our Future Shapes Our Past by Sarah Parcak. Sarah Parcak is an Egyptologist, but she's also a pioneering space archaeologist. And you might be wondering, like, a space archaeologist? What are they doing? Digging up the moon? No. They use satellite imagery to find different sites, archaeological sites around the world, and to determine whether they were a previous settlement. And they've actually discovered many unknown structures with this method of archaeology, and it's proving to be very revolutionary for the field. And yeah, it's just amazing, and I can't wait to read this. I really cannot. You guys know I love Egyptology, you know I love archaeology, like I'm so excited to read this one. It's fairly short too, but I know it's probably going to end up being a favorite. And there's two other books that I currently don't have that I requested from the library. They're on order. I have a hold on them, so hopefully they'll be sent to me once, they're available. So I requested Wilder Girls by Rory Power. Basically, it's about these girls on an isolated island. This island is like a mutant. I don't know. Like, the creatures on this island is mutant. It's like a weird, creepy thing. All the teachers have died. One of the girls go missing, and one of the other girls, that's her like best friend slash girlfriend, I think, goes looking for her. And yeah, it basically, yeah, I mean, a lot of you have probably heard of this because it's been very hyped. There's been some polarizing reviews. Some people really love it, other people just didn't really like it. So yeah, I'm excited to read it though because A, the cover is gorgeous, and B, it sounds like a good read. And the next one that I also currently have on order, I have a hold on it, hopefully it should be available to me this month, is The Gracier by Kim Liggett. So basically, The Gracier, it's hard to explain, but it's been described as The Hunger Games meets The Handmaid's Tale. Basically, when girls turn 16, they go to this forest and they're released, and they like fight to the death or something like that. I'm not entirely sure how it works, but it sounds awesome. Okay? It sounds really good. This is actually being made into a movie, which I think is really cool. So yeah, I definitely want to read this. The next nonfiction book I have is I'll Be Gone in the Dark, A One Woman Search for the Golden State Killer by McNamara. This has been on my TBR for a while now, but this month If not this month, in December, it needs to be read. I've been putting this book off so long. I don't know why, but I just have. I usually fly through non-fictions, so I don't know why I keep putting it off. Also, my TBR this month could qualify almost as, you know, non-fiction November. It wasn't a mistake. I'm just really in the mood for non-fiction lately. But anyways, you guys probably already know, it's a self-explanatory one. This woman searches to find out the true identity of the Golden State Killer, but of course we now know through DNA forensic evidence, we know the identity of the Golden State Killer. And then I have a few ebooks I would like to get to this month. I don't know if I will. It's probably a theme of my TBRs by now. So first we have The Luminous Dead by Catlin Starling. I've been wanting to get this one for a while now. This is about Gaia Price. She lied her way into this caving expedition on this here planet, and there's supposed to be a huge payday for her. That's kind of her motivation behind it. She wants to get off this planet and go on another planet. But basically, the people who are running this here expedition have some sketchy ulterior motives that Gaia really doesn't know anything about. Things become heated and claustrophobic and desperate, and yeah, it sounds amazing. And it's also set in a cave, which I've been having a thing with caves lately. And then I'm also hoping to get to The Dreamers by Karen Thompson Walker. Ever since I heard of this last year, like, it intrigued me. So basically, a mysterious illness is taking hold in a small town that causes the patient to be suspended in a permanent state of sleep. Like, they just sleep, they don't wake up, and nobody knows what's happening. So yeah, this sounds super interesting. I'm hoping it's not slow and boring. I actually haven't seen too many reviews about this book, so. And then the next book that I want to read, which I don't even know if I will be able to get to, because obviously I have a problem with big TBRs, but I want to get to Perfect Prey by Helen Fields. This is a detective thriller series that I've been reading. It's the second book in the series. Basically, this here murderer, before killing his victims, graffitis their name in the town that they live in before he goes and kills them, and the detectives have to race against time to try to stop the killer from killing people before he strikes. Those are all the books that I want to read this month. Actually, November's probably going to be the last TBR you see until January. I will not be having a TBR video for December. Anyways, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you can go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I will have the link to my Instagram, my Goodreads, and my Twitter all linked in the description below, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!